Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again, my dear friends. Let's start to answer paper for igcse students, okay? In biology. Today we'll talk about biology, okay? We'll talk about paper at October-November 2020. The time of the paper is 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay? All instructions includes answering all questions using a black or dark blue pen and writing the center name and so on. Okay, let's move to the first question. First question said, water is an essential molecule for life. So our first question will be about water. A, complete the statement. Water moves into and out of the cell by, okay. When we talk about water, okay, directly, we have to remember osmosis. We have to remember what? Osmosis. Osmosis. Only during the process of osmosis, water moves from higher water potential to lower water potential region. Okay, so we have three things which can move outside and inside cell: ions, water, and mineral, ions or minerals, and water, and in liquid. Okay, so water especially move to and out the cell by process called osmosis. Osmosis means movement of water from higher concentration area to lower concentration area. Okay, so let's move to the next point. Water is known as a space because it can dissolve solutes. So anything can dissolve in solutes, water or alcohol, from the chemistry is called solvent. Called what? Solvent. So solvent is the water or alcohol which can dissolve the solutes. Okay. Let's move to next question. B, a leaf cell was put into a solution. طيب. After that, the water potential of the solution was lower. If we put a leaf in a solution, and the water potential here means the concentration of water molecules in this solution lower than the water potential of the contents of the cell. Okay. Here is the cell. Okay, the layers of the cell. Firstly, this, I think this plant cell, so this is cell wall. Cell what? Cell wall. Okay. And next, this is cell membrane. After cell wall, this cell membrane. Cell membrane, and this the cytoplasm, and this the cytoplasm. Okay. The leaf wall was transferred into pure water. Sketch the expected appearance of the cell after it had been in a pure water, okay, for 3 hours. So, firstly, we have to understand that the water potential outside of the solution, the water potential of the solution was lower than water potential inside cell. So if we put this cell inside this water here, okay, we have to understand that water potential here, or the concentration of water here is lower. Is what? Concentration of water is in the solution is lower than what? Lower than cell. Okay, so let's move to the question. Sketch the expected appearance of cell after it had been present in pure water. Firstly, the cell appeared like that because the concentration of water H2O outside was low. Then we will transfer this cell again into a solution with a higher water potential, pure water. So I have to erase that because higher concentration here. The water is higher water potential. يبقى higher water potential. So the water here will move from here to inside the cell, from the solution to the cell, because this is not a solution, this is pure water. So water will move to inside the cell. Okay, let's delete that. Okay, this is the cell, okay, surrounded by water. We will say like that. Water will move inside the cell, and the cell become what? Become target. The cell become target, okay. The cell become target. The cell become target because water moves inside the cell, so the cell become target and its size increase. If it was animal cell, it will lysis or burst, but because of being a plant cell, it will only target. Okay, so this the drawing, and that what he want. Let's move to the next question. Yes, a plant was not watered for 1 week. Yani we didn't give plant water for 1 week. What will happen? Of course, it will die. Figure 1.2 shows a series of photographs of the plant during this week. What happened to this plant this week? First day or first week, the plant provided with water, or day 1. It is good. Okay, still grow, still alive. Day 3, the plant start wilting. Okay, at the last day, the plant died. So he will ask us to explain how lack of water has affected the support of leaf of the plant. The term turgor pressure. Okay. Firstly, we have to talk about wilting. About what wilting? Because it is important topic we talk about wilting. Okay. The loss of water means that the loss of water wilting means the loss of water by transpiration is greater than water uptake. Okay, here 1 mark for wilting, 2 mark for explanation. We have now to use the term turgor pressure. 3. Okay, the cells okay, or the plant cells lost trigger pressure. Okay, now we have the 3 mark. So what happened to this plant at day 7? It is wilting. Wilting being the loss of water by transpiration, okay, where the water loss is greater than the water uptake. By there, no water inside cells, okay, the plant cell lost the water, so the trigger pressure will decrease. Cell lost trigger pressure, okay, and they become wilted, okay. So let's move to next question number 2. Pathogens cause diseases. Figure 2.1 shows some cells that are part of the human immune system. These cells are responding to one type of pathogen, okay. As we know, the function of the immune system is a defensive system. So what is this? We have here lymphocyte, we have here phagocyte. As we know, lymphocyte function is to produce antibodies. To produce what? Antibodies, okay. These antibodies take the symbol of Y, or take the shape of the letter Y. And we said that this is neutrophils. Neutrophil, one of the white blood cells, neutrophil, okay. And I said neutrophil because it has looped nucleus, or white blood cells. You can write it white blood cells. And this lymphocyte from the shape, lymphocyte, this is one of the individuals of the army which fight the disease, okay. And the Q is the pathogen or disease. Pathogen means bacteria, virus, and so on. So pathogens is a substance or a molecule related to bacteria or any foreign substance, okay, invade our body. So now you understand now what are those shapes. Firstly, we have to say to him, S is a lymphocyte. T, define them. S is a lymphocyte. Okay. And T, antibodies. T antibodies produced by what? Produced by lymphocyte. Then let's move again. And the Q are pathogens. First, you have to define all those letters, okay? Q is pathogen or a foreign substance according to the question. And then we'll move the two, what is this? We talked about STQR, which is neutrophil. R, neutrophil, one of the white blood cell forms. Neutrophil. Okay, neutrophil. Let's explain what happened. Okay, firstly, lymphocytes produce antibodies which market تعلم يعني which market pathogen which market pathogen تعلم الباثوجين okay which engulfed eaten engulfed by what? By neutrophil. By neutrophil. So now we have three steps. Now you have the all mark of the question. You have the full mark of the question, okay? Firstly, we define the shapes, okay? The summary of this process is that something, foreign substance or pathogen such as bacteria invade our body at Q, okay? Then the lymphocyte T started to produce antibodies which remarked, okay, the pathogen. Then the neutrophils, which are called R later or take R later, will engulf or eat the pathogens and lysis it or destroy it, okay? It's so easy. Okay. A vaccine, let's move to B. A vaccine was introduced in 1942 for a particular disease. Figure 2.2 shows the effect of introducing the vaccine on the number of cases of the disease in one country. يعني a country exposed to a disease such as COVID-19, okay, and they introduced a vaccine such as many vaccines are found, okay, to fight this disease or to inhibit that disease. What happened now? Firstly, when we look to any drawing, okay, we have to see or to notice the x-axis and y-axis. What are written in y-axis? In y-axis here are number of cases of disease per million people, okay, and at y-axis and the x-axis here are written the year. For example, at 1920, okay, there are 100 cases, okay, per million people, 100 million, okay, million people. And the cases started to increase. But we started here at 1920, there were 100 cases. The number increased near to 150. Okay, at 1930, the number of cases which infected by the disease increased near to 200. And then at 1940, the number of cases increased to more than, okay, 200. Okay, then after 1940, and I think this is the time of introducing a vaccine, the cases started to decrease. Okay, all of those, okay, things you will write during the answer. You will write all of those points I've said, okay, at your answer. So first, let's move to the question. In 1946, the government of the country concluded that the vaccine was successful. 1946. Okay, discuss evidence showing in figure 2.2 for and against. Okay, remember that for and against. So we'll write or discuss two reasons for and against. يبقى agreement, يبقى for conclusion, يبقى agree for the conclusion, agree for conclusion, and we write two things against conclusion to have the full mark. Against conclusion. Okay, let's move to 1946. What happened at 1946? 1946 year, at 1940, the cases, as I said, start to decrease. Okay, 1940, 19, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1941, 42, 43, 45, 46. Yes, 46 here at this point. Okay, so I'll say to him, I'm agree because cases decreased decreased from, for example, 19, here 1946, I want another year, 1946, 45, 44. Cases decreased from 1944, okay, to 1946 after introducing the vaccine. Okay. After introducing the vaccine, and we can say also the cases, okay, continue to decrease, okay, or general decrease from 1944 or 1944. The cases do not return to pre-vaccine level also, but we can say that cases do not return, do not return to pre-vaccine rate, okay? The cases do not return to pre-vaccine. So I'll now be against this vaccine, okay? I'll fight this vaccine, I refuse it. So what can I say? I said number of cases increased during the 2 years, okay, after the vaccine was introduced. If, as you see here, there is here a tough increase here, this may happen, okay, tough increased here after vaccine sometimes, and also there is decrease and increase. So we can say there is, or there are, okay, increasing, or there are cases, there is increasing in cases after introducing a vaccine, now after introducing a vaccine, okay. And it took a long time, about 32 years after vaccine introduced, okay. So if a long time is taken, أخذ وقت كتير جدا, is taken to, okay, long time is taken to inhibit the disease, or to beat this disease. Okay, يبقى long time is taken. So now you have the 4 marks. You have the 4 marks. Okay. Question number 3. All living organisms excrete waste product. Okay, this is excretion, waste product. Figure 3.1 is a photograph of Nigleria, okay, fowleri, a single-celled protist that lives in a water environment. Okay, but this organism lived in a watery environment. Wonderful. A single-cell organism from the protista, the third kingdom. We have many kingdoms, about 5 kingdoms. Start with animal, plant, protista, fungi, prokaryotes. State feature in flower visible figure 3.1 that distinguish it from prokaryotes. Okay, what are found in protista and are not found in prokaryotes? Okay, protista have nucleus. Prokaryotes have not nucleus. Okay, so it have also no cell wall. There is here no cell wall, no cell wall, no cell wall. If prokaryotes, you have to understand that prokaryotes here means bacteria. Means what? Bacteria. The term prokaryotes means bacteria. So as we know, bacteria has not nucleus, just a strand of DNA. يبقى nucleus, cell wall. Okay. State name and the function of structure A. Structure A. Structure A is cell membrane. Okay. Cell membrane. Cell membrane. Function. Okay. It controls. يبقى function of cell membrane. Okay. It controls. It is partially permeable. We say that a cell membrane is partially permeable at where osmosis occurs at this membrane. Okay. It is living membrane. So it controls movement of substances in and out the cell. In and out the cell. It controls the movement of substances in and out the cell. This is the function of cell membrane. Suggest how in fowleri excretes carbon dioxide. Okay, any gas, carbon dioxide, oxygen, all gases are excreted by diffusion. By what? Diffusion. Put it at your mind. All gases are excreted by diffusion. Even at human, you get rid of carbon dioxide, okay, by diffusion. We take in oxygen by diffusion. Okay, so remember that diffusion belongs to gases. Osmosis belongs to water. Okay, active transport belongs to ions and glucose. Okay, substances with a lower concentration. Let's move to the next question. Urea is a toxin that is excreted by the kidneys in human. Okay. Describe how and where the body urea is formed. Okay. If we remember our body during the digestion process, all amino acids are broken down in stomach and the small intestine. Then they will move via portal vein, okay, amino acids to what? To the liver. Okay. So how and where, remember that. How and where. How many marks here? We have 3 marks. How and where, you have to tell him how and where the body urea is formed. Okay. at liver or in liver, deamination is where? Deamination and how? Where? In liver. How? Deamination, okay, of amino acids. Deamination of amino acids, يعني amino acids enter the liver from the small intestine high amounts that our body, okay, doesn't need it, or when the levels of amino acids in the blood greater than the levels which our body need, it will move to liver, and the liver will break down it or remove nitrogen from amino acids, changing it into urea. This process called deamination. يبقى deamination يبقى liver deamination of amino acids take place changing it to urea. To what? To urea, which move into kidney and will be excreted okay. That is very important. Question number C 3.2 shows part of the human excretory system and associated blood vessel. The arrows indicate the direction of the blood flow. Okay, as we see here, we have here two kidney, okay, and two blood vessels. We have here two blood vessels, okay. Firstly, let's move to the question here. Draw a label on the line and the letter X on the figure 3.2 to show the location of the cortex in one of the kidney. Yes, cortex here, the outer layer. Cortex, the outer layer of the kidney. Cortex, outer layer of the kidney, and after the cortex is amygdala. Is what? Amygdala. The region between those two dotted lines are called the medulla, and the outer layer is called cortex. Okay, so this is X. Table 3.1 contains statements about the labeled structure. Okay, complete the label by stating the name and the structure, identifying the letter that labels the structure. Okay. Organ that stores urine. Okay, where is organ that stores urine? Organ that stores urine here. Bladder. Okay. We called it urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. Because we have gallbladder, which connected to the liver. Urinary bladder. Letter, have letter what? Letter G. Tube that carries urine out of the kidney. Tube that carry urine out of the kidney, which is urethra. This urethra. It is extended from the urinary bladder. Okay. H. Called urethra. Urethra. H. Okay. Blood vessel which with the lowest concentration of urea. Blood vessel with the lowest concentration of urea. It is the vein, which is renal vein, D. Renal vein. Okay. يبقى renal vein, okay, the blood which move outside of the kidney, of course, contain the lowest amount of urea, because the urea now is excreted outside our body. Okay, so D, renal vein. renal vein D. Blood vessel with the lowest concentration of carbon dioxide. Wonderful. Lowest concentration come from the heart. The other one, okay? Which is E from here, okay? From the artery, renal artery, okay? Renal artery, because it comes from the heart. So because when blood, okay, taken from our small intestine, it will move to the liver, and urea make into the liver, and from the liver it will move to heart. It will move to heart and will be, okay, push again into arteries to spread out our body. يبقى renal artery E. Tube that carries urine out of the body, yes, it is H. It is H. It is called urethra. Okay, we have here a mistake. The number one here, tube that carries out here. Tube carries out urine out of the kidney. Yes, out of the kidney. So it is not urethra, out of the kidney. Out of the kidney. We are talking here about ureter. About what? Ureter. Oh, yes. F. Out of the kidney. Ureter. Okay, to bladder. يبقى ureter. Ureter. Number what? Number F. F. Okay. Thank you, my friends, for now. Okay, and we will complete inshallah our questions at the next session inshallah.